Hi, it's Teri. This is a dynamic 60-minute flow class. You can power it up as however you'd like. You can cop into handstands, arm balances, or tone it down as you wish. I do have a playlist. I can lightly hear it now. You cannot hear it. But if you'd like to move along with some of the music I'm teaching to, you can go onto Spotify to my account, ThereseGMartin. That's ThereseGMartin. And it is Flow 60-4. Okay? So let's have some fun. Start lying on your backs with your heads at the tops of your mat. I'll swing around this way. Lie down and bring the soles of your feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana. You can place your hands wherever you'd like. They can be outstretched out to the sides. You can place a hand on your belly or a hand on your chest. And during this practice, I encourage you to tap into your own rhythm. I encourage you to really bring your focus inward so that all you're paying attention to is your body in this hour, in this space. Together, take a deep, full breath in through the nose. Fill all the way up to the top. Open your mouths, exhale, let it go. Again, long, slow, full breath in. Pull the belly in. Feel the breath go all the way up to the crown of your head. Open your mouths, exhale, just let it go. One more round of breath in. Open mouth, breath out. Lightly sealing your lips together, breathing in and out through your nose. Bring your hands to guide your knees together. Lift your feet off the floor so that your shin bones are parallel to the floor, knees are directly over your hips. Arms are outstretched, palms face down. Hug the belly in. As you exhale, twist your hips over towards your left. Make sure your right knee is still on top of your left and hover for about half an inch. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist them over towards your right. Left knee on top of right. Inhale back to center. Don't lose the 90-degree angle. Exhale to find your twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale over towards your right. You can stay here. Straighten your legs as you exhale. Swing your legs over towards your left. Inhale back to center. Exhale over towards your right. One more side. In, back to center. Exhale over towards your left. And inhale to center. And exhale over to your right. Bring the knees back up. Bring the knees into your chest. Give yourselves a gentle squeeze. Bring your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. Pull the belly in. Glide your legs down on the count of 3, 2. Let them hover for 1. Breath in. Bring the knees into the chest. Straighten the legs up to the ceiling. Exhale, lower down. Push the heels right to the front of the room. Inhale, knees into the chest. Straighten the legs. Exhale, slowly lower down. Pull the heels forward. This time, straighten the legs. Bring them back up. Exhale, bend the knees. Pull the feet all the way to the front of the room. We're just basically reversing this. Inhale, bring the legs up straight. Exhale, knees to the chest, and pull the feet forward. One more time. Inhale, all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, knees to your chest. Straighten the legs all the way forward. Then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourselves a little bit of a gentle squeeze. Rock and roll up and down until you come all the way into a cross-legged seated position, either shin in front. Cross your arms behind you. Grab your elbows. Forward fold. Let your head and neck relax. Feel the weight of the upper back roll right down into the front of the spine. Feel the length of your neck, the weight of your head. Perhaps your forehead finds the surface of the floor of the mat in front of you. Take another breath. Slowly roll all the way up. Bring your arms by your ears, reach high. As you exhale, tabletop position, hands and knees. Draw your chest to the shoulders for your cow. As you exhale, bring your weight over towards your left hand, your left knee, and swivel your hips over towards your left. Bring the heels all the way down behind to your heels and over towards your right. Just keep these gentle little swirling motions, gently warming up your hips. You're also warming up your shoulders. Continue to follow your breath. Just create your own gentle rhythm. Even close your eyes and feel nice and swirling, organic. Eventually reversing it. Your right hip goes to the right. Weight onto your right hand, all the way over. Weight onto your left hand. Even incorporate some of the cat-cows, round into the spine, arching the spine when you come through. One more cycle here. And come back to neutral. Step your hands a little bit farther in front of you. Tuck your toes. Crouch in tiger, draw your hips towards your heels. Push the floor away with your hands. Straighten your legs, a down dog. Lower your knees, draw the chest to the shoulders, tilt the head, tilt the tailbone. Exhale, hover the knees off the floor, send your hips back to your heels, straightening your legs. One more time, lower the knees, draw the chest to the shoulders, look up. Exhale, round the spine, hug the belly in, push the floor, hips back towards your heels, straighten your legs. Walk your hands, put a paw print ahead of you so that you come into your regular downward facing dog. Keep pushing the floor away. Let the neck grow longer, the head grow heavier. Notice with the weight on the hands, you can draw some more strength into your shoulders as you spin your inner arms toward your ears, sending your hips higher as you engage your quads, lifting your kneecaps up. You're starting to create more space. Feel free to wiggle things around. You can drop your head a little bit, roll it around, maybe even bend one knee and then the other. Start to appreciate some of the stretch and the opening you're getting in the backs of your legs. And then find your pose, pressing down to lift hips up and back. On your next inhalation, lift your heels high. Exhale, spin your heels over towards your right. Press into your left hand, send your left hip diagonally up behind you. Inhale, back to center, and exhale, spin your heels over towards your left. Push down, lift the hips up. One more cycle. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, spin your heels over to the right. Inhale, back to center, spin them over towards your left. Inhale, back to center, heels settle a little bit more to the floor. As you breathe in, come into a high plank position, shoulders are over your wrists. Pull the heels back, pull the belly in, support the lower back. Neck is long, pressing down, lift up. You almost might feel a little bit of a rounding in your upper back, but make sure your legs are firmly engaged. Take a breath in. As you exhale, spin your heels over to the left and send your hips back over towards your heels. So you're in a twisted crouch. Back to your high plank position, lengthen everything out. Exhale, bend your knees, pull your heels over towards the right. Inhale, back to your high plank. Again, exhale, heels over to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. One more round, inhale to plank. Exhale, swivel over towards the left, push back. Inhale to high plank. Exhale, heels to the right. Inhale, high plank. Stay in your plank for another 3. Belly's engaged, legs are engaged, torso's long, neck is long for 2 and 1. Count of 3 to lower all the way down under the chest and belly. Hug your elbows in. Pull the chest forward on the count of 3, 2, and 1. Tense your fingertips outside the mat. Lift up into a wide-armed cobra. I call it a spider. Take a breath in, slowly rolling down, lead to the belly, the chest, and the chin, and let the head and neck relax. Inhale, slowly rolling it up. Pull the belly in. Open up the chest. Exhale, follow the breath and the chest all the way back down. One more time. Inhale, slow roll up. Exhale, slow roll down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Either press your way back through child's pose to down dog or press in and lift up into a high plank position. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, settling into the comfort of this very, very familiar pose. But every time you do it, it feels a little bit differently, doesn't it? So as you press down, you're lifting up and back. Staying here for another 3. Breath in and out for 2. One more inhale and an exhale. Next inhalation, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or jump lightly to the top of your mat. Breath into lengthen, chest pulls forward, Ardha Uttanasana, shoulders back. Exhale, hug the belly in as you bow it down for forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, again, lengthen. Hands can come to the knees or the shins. Pull your way forward, rock your way forward. As you exhale, bow it down, follow the breath. One more round, inhale, lengthen, chest forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way up. Bring your arms by your ears, reaching high, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the center of your chest, Samastitihi, equal standing. Moving with your breath, coming into a few Surya Namaskar A's, Sun Salute A's. Inhale, bring your arms by your ears, reach high. Exhale, hinge all the way down, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen, chest forward. Exhale, hands to the floor, step or float through to your Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank. Inhale, pull forward and up, upward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take 3 rounds of breath. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, exhale. Remember, you're getting longer, you're getting narrow in the waist, more space. Next inhalation, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, push back, step or float to the top of the mat. Breath in to lengthen, chest forward. A breath out, bow it down, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, bring your arms by your ears, reach high, stand tall, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, hands back to the center of your chest, Samastitihi, equal standing. Again, inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, hinge all the way down, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen, chest forward. Exhale, hands to the floor, step or float through to Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank. Inhale, pull forward and up for your back bend, up dog. Exhale, hips are high, down dog. Take 2 rounds of breath. Breath in, head is heavy, neck is long, breath out. Inhaling, keep engaging your legs, draw your thigh bones back, heels to the floor. On your next inhalation, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float lightly to the top of your mat. Breath in to lengthen, chest forward. Breath out, bow it down, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, bring your arms by your ears, reach high. Exhale, hinge right back down, forward fold, final sun salute A. Inhale to lengthen, chest forward. Exhale, hands to the floor, and take it through your vinyasa, high plank to low. Inhale is your up dog, shoulders back. Exhale, hips are high, down dog. Take a breath in and let it go. On your next inhalation, raise your right leg long back behind you. Keep the hips level this round. Pull your left hip back in space. Lead with your right inner thigh. Right leg is long. Keep pressing into both hands equally so you have a nice long spine. Another breath in. Exhale, knee to your nose. Bring your shoulders over your wrists, but look forward so it's a 3-legged plank. Inhale, pull the right leg back behind you. Again, exhale, knee to the chest, look forward. Inhale, draw the leg back behind you. This time, knee to your nose, round into the upper back, push everything up. As you exhale, step your right foot to the top of the mat for a low runner's lunge. Hips are nice and level, nice and low. Right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward. Left leg is long. Make sure your right knee is over your ankle. Hands can stay on the floor or blocks or books or whatever you have at home. Or you can bring your arms behind you in an airplane pose. Another option would be clasping your hands behind you, pulling the shoulder blades towards one another as you draw your knuckles back. Feel the firm support. You're pulling both outer hips, squeezing them to midline, drawing the knuckles back as you draw your chest forward. Shoulder heads are relaxed. Stay here for another 2 and 1. Lower the hands to the floor. Send your right leg long back behind you. This time, bend your right knee, yawn it open. Continue to pull your left hip back. Roll the right hip even more. Find this beautiful stretch right inside of your left upper inner thigh. And then you'll find a little bit more opening in your right hip. Firm weight on your left hand. Open up even more. As you exhale, tap your right arm with your right knee. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, draw the right leg back. Exhale, tap your left arm. Chest pulls forward. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, step your right foot to the top of the mat, low runner's lunge again. As you keep your hips nice and level and square, left hand down, right arm reaches overhead. Press into your left hand, get a little bit more oomph. Lift up. Notice how you're lifting up a little bit more out of your left shoulder. As you continue to pull your right hip back, draw your left ribs to your left wrist, and then open up even more. Continue to squeeze the inner thighs together. Left leg stays long and firm. Another breath. Exhale, lower your right hand down. Right leg glides back again. Bend your right knee, open it up. Step your right foot to the top of the mat. High crescent lunge, bring your arms by your ears and reach up. In your high crescent lunge, hips are nice and square to the top of your mat. There's a buoyancy in your hips. Left hip forward, arms reach overhead. Keep a lift of the ribs away from the back waist. Bend into your left elbow, grab it with your right hand. Try to encourage your left hand right between your shoulder blades. Keep scissoring the inner thighs together and find a stretch over towards your right. Look underneath your left shoulder. Breathing here for another 3 breaths. Press into your right heel, pull your right hip back. Hug the belly in. Look underneath your left shoulder. Breath in, back to center. As you exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Step from high plank to low plank. Inhale is your upward facing dog. Exhale is your downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale and exhale. One more round of breath in and a breath out. Hips stay square as you raise your left leg behind you. Lead with the inner thighs so the hips maintain that squareness. Pull your right hip back. Lift the left leg up a bit higher and continue to pull your right heel to the floor. It's the weight in your hands that allow you to do this. Breath in, lift the left leg up a bit higher. As you exhale, bring your knee to your chest and look forward. Inhale, draw the left leg back behind you. Again, exhale, knee to the chest. Inhale, left leg long. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose. Push the floor away. Try to kiss your knee. Step your left foot to the top of the mat. Low runner's lunge. Once again, you're pressing into the front left foot to hug the left hip back. Lengthen your right leg. Staying here, bring your arms into an airplane pose, or catching your hands behind you, find the non-dominant way. Arms grow long behind you as you pull your chest forward. The lower body is firmly supported, pulling your hips together. Lengthen your right leg, pressing into your left foot. Stay here for another breath in and a breath out. Lower your hands to the floor, swing your left leg long back behind you. Bend your left knee, open your hip. Pull your right hip back. Keep pressing weight into your left hand. Find even a little bit more of a stretch and opening between your thighs. Another inhale. As you exhale, tap your left arm with your left knee. Look forward. Inhale, pull the left leg long. Exhale, tap your right knee. Inhale, left leg long. Exhale, step your left foot to the top of the mat. Right hand stays underneath your right shoulder. Hips stay nice and square. Keep that right leg long. Left arm out to the left. Twist open towards your left. Continue to squeeze the inner thighs together. Continue to get longer from your right palm to your fingertips. Draw your right ribs to the front of the room. Spin them to the left inner thigh. Look over your left shoulder. Breath in to lengthen. Breath out to twist even more. One more inhale. Exhale, lower your left hand to the floor. Swing your left leg long back behind you again. Bend your left knee. Step your left foot to the top of the mat. High crescent lunge. Bring your arms by your ears and reach up. Squaring everything off to the top of the mat. Keep your right heel lifted nice and high. Lower body stays right where it is. A little bit more of a lift of the torso into the arms. Bend into your right elbow. Grab your right elbow with your left hand. Tap between your shoulder blades. And find a glorious stretch from your right hip all the way to your elbow. Keep lengthening your right leg a bit more. Pull your left hip back. Staying here for another breath. Back to center, arms reach overhead. Step the hands to the floor, high plank position to low plank. Inhale, forward and up, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. And take 5 breaths. Continue to push the floor away with the hands, sending the hips nice and high. Pace back your breath if it's sped up. Keep it nice and rhythmic and consistent. Never hesitate to take a child's pose if you need to. Yeah, your next breath in, raise your right leg behind you, 3-legged dog. Bend your right knee, open up your right hip. Tap your right arm with your right knee, bring your shoulders over your wrists. Draw the right leg back behind you. Again, exhale, tap your right arm with your right knee. Leave it there, bending your elbows into chaturanga arms. Perhaps your left toes take lift off, maybe not. Draw your right leg back behind you as you breathe in. Exhale, step your right foot to the top of the mat into a warrior two. Draw your left arm up and around. Settle deeply into the right hip. Left leg stays long, Virabhadrasana 2. Arms are reaching brightly out side to side. Sink a little bit more deeply. Don't sink into the inside arch of your foot. Grab weight onto the outer edge of it. Flip your right palm, reverse your warrior. As you exhale, extended side angle form. It can be on your thigh, left arm by your ear. We'll be returning to this pose several times, going deeper and deeper. Bend a little bit more into your right knee. Lengthen your left leg. Pull your right ribs towards your right knee. Swing the ribs around the spine. Look underneath your left shoulder. Utthita Pada Konasana has a lot of stretch, a lot of length. It's also a twist. Open up the chest even more. Spin the ribs around the spine. Another breath in. As you exhale, bend into your left knee, Skandasana, side lunge. Draw your right toes up towards your face. Draw your left hand in front of you. Squeeze the inside of your knee to your outer arm and draw your right arm overhead. Either staying here, coming into a bind. Bring your right hand behind you. You can just grab your left hip, or even more deeply, have your left hand swing to face behind you and grab your right wrist with your left hand and look over your right shoulder. Wherever you are, you're still breathing, right? For another 2 and 1. Unwind your bind. Swing into a high crescent lunge facing the top of your mat. Lift your left heel high. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist to your right. Pull your right hip back. Look over your right shoulder. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Continue to lengthen as you breathe in. Find a little bit more twist. Another breath in. Lift and lengthen. Exhale, even more of a twist. Staying in your twist, bring your right hand behind you to your left thigh. Press the thigh into the hand. Exalted warrior, draw your left arm behind you. Keep reaching and lengthening, finding a little bit more of a twist, a little bit more of a stretch. Another breath here. Come back to center, arms reach overhead. Exhale, hands to the floor. Vashisthasana, come onto the outside of your left foot, right foot on top of left. Right arm reaches overhead. Press down and lift up. One more inhale. Exhale, lower your right hand down. Swing back to neutral, but bring your right elbow, knee rather to your right elbow. Back to your Vashisthasana side plank. Right arm up. Exhale. Right knee to right elbow. Inhale, Vashisthasana side plank. One more time. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Come back to a high plank position, lower down through low plank. Inhale, pull forward and up, up dog. Exhale, hips high. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in and let it go. Breath in, raise your right leg behind you, 3-limb dog. Bend your right knee, open up your right hip. Step your right foot to the top of your mat, half moon rising. Gradually draw your weight onto your right foot. Start to open up towards the left. Left arm reaches overhead. Right arm comes down. Find your balance. Your right hand can be on a block, a book, a piece of furniture. Raise the left leg up even higher. Make sure it's nice and engaged. Staying here for another 3, 2. Bend into your right knee, warrior 2. Take a breath in. Exhale, Skandasana, bend into your left knee. Glide your way down. As you breathe in, bend into your right knee, spin around to face the top of the room. Wild Thing Rock Star, roll over onto the outside of your left foot, right foot behind you, right arm reaches overhead. Exhale, right hand down, swing your right leg underneath you, fallen triangle. Left arm reaches overhead. 3-legged plank. Exhale, lower down through 3-legged chaturanga. Inhale, forward and up, up dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Take 3 rounds of breath here. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, let your head grow heavier. Shake it around again. Keep pressing down, lift the hips up, and breathe. Nice. Other side. Raise your left leg long back behind you. Bend your left knee, yawn it open. Tap your left arm with your left knee. Inhale, draw the leg back behind you. Exhale, tap your left arm with your left knee. Bend your elbows, pull your way forward. Maybe your right toes find liftoff. Breath in, draw the leg back behind you. Tap your right arm with your left knee this round. Inhale, draw the leg back behind you. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Lengthen your stance perhaps so your left knee is over your ankle. Right leg is long. Weight on the outer edge of your back foot. Arms are reaching brightly out, front and back. Continue to squeeze the inner thigh towards me. Continue to lengthen your right leg. Staying here for another 3. Breath in and out for 2. And 1. Reverse your warrior. Flip your left palm, reach up and back. Exhale, extended side angle, Utthita Padasvanasana. Right arm reaches overhead. The hips are nice and firm. Pulling your left hip back, right leg stays long. Lengthen the left chest towards your left knee. Spin the left ribs towards me, lean your right chest back. Make sure your shoulder isn't scooching up to your ear. You might want to relax it back and down. Keep reaching and lengthening for another 3, 2, and 1. As you exhale, bend into your right knee. Skandasana side lunge. You can either just stay here, or you can take your right fingertips in front of your right shin. Left arm reaches overhead. Staying here, grabbing your arm behind you, wrapping your right arm around your right shin, grabbing your left hand, and opening up. And a little bit more length when you breathe in, a little bit more twist when you breathe out. One more inhale. As you exhale, release your bind if you have it, swinging away all the way into a high crescent lunge facing the top of your mat. Take a breath in, pull your left hip back, twist over to your left, arms are outstretched. Continue to hug the left hip back to midline. Perhaps your right leg grows a little bit longer. Just move the upper body around the spine. Left arm lands on the back of your right thigh. Push the thigh into the hand and find your exalted warrior. Keep reaching up, getting some more length, a little bit more of a twisty stretch. Breath in, breath out. Back to center, arms reach overhead. Lower your hands to the floor, Vashisthasana, side plank. Left foot on top of right, left arm reaches overhead. Press down, lift hips up a bit higher. As you exhale, lower your left hand down, swing your left knee to your left arm. Inhale, back to Vashisthasana, left arm up. Exhale, hands to the floor, knee to elbow. One more time, Vashisthasana, left arm up. Exhale, hand to the floor, knee to elbow. 3-legged plank. Exhale, 3-legged chaturanga. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, hips are high, down dog, Adho Mukha. Take a breath in and a breath out. Raise your left leg as you breathe in. Bend your left knee, yawn it open. Step your left foot between your hands, half moon rising, Ardha Chandrasana. Left arm goes down, right arm rises. Raise your right leg a bit higher. Make sure it's nice and long. Breathing here for another 2. Draw your left ribs towards your left shoulder. Bend into your left knee, land your right foot to the floor, warrior 2. Bend into your right knee, Skandasana. Bend back into your left knee, swing around to face the top of your mat, hands to the floor. Wild thing, send your left foot behind you, left arm reaches overhead. On the exhalation, left hand down, left leg swings underneath, right arm reaches overhead. Come back into a 3-legged plank, left leg long. Exhale, lower down through Chaturanga, 3-legged. Lower your foot for your up dog, Adho Mukha. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. And breathe for 5 rounds of breath. You can always take child's pose whenever you'd like. And don't hesitate to press the pause button if you need to. Just don't leave your mat. Stay committed to your practice. It's your time. You elected to carve out some space and time for yourselves. So just roll with it. Do what you can do. We'll be doing this now, 1 breath per movement. One more inhale and an exhale. On your next inhalation, raise your right leg long back behind you. Bend your right knee, open up your hip. Tap your right arm with your right knee. Inhale, right leg long. Exhale, tap your left arm with your right knee. Inhale, right leg long. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands, warrior two, left arm reaches up and around. As you exhale, bend into your left knee for Skandasana. Inhale into a high crescent lunge, bring your way all the way up, left heel pops up. As you exhale, twist to your right, hug the hips together. Exalt your warrior, right hand down, left arm reaches up. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lower your hands to the floor, Vashisthasana, right foot on top of left. We'll only do one round of this. As you exhale, right hand down, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Breath in, raise your right leg back behind you. Bend your right knee, yawn your hip open. Half moon rising, step your right foot to the top of the mat. Open up into a half moon rising, Ardha Chandrasana. Take a breath in. Exhale, Skandasana, bend into your right knee and bend into your left. Inhale, spin around to face the top of your mat. Wild thing, spin onto the outside of your left foot, right foot down, right arm reaches overhead. Exhale, fall in triangle, right hand down, swing your leg underneath, left arm overhead. Exhale, left hand down, high plank to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take an inhale and let it go. Raise the left leg as you breathe in. Exhale, tap your left arm with your left knee. Inhale, left leg long. Exhale, tap your right arm with your left knee. Inhale, glide the leg back. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Take a breath in, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extend your side angle, right arm overhead. I forgot this one on the other side. And Skandasana, bend into your right knee. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Bring your weight all the way up, popping up your right heel. Exhale, twist over to the left. Left hand down, right arm reaches overhead. Exhale, swing your hands to the floor. Vashisthasana, side plank. Left foot on top of right, left arm reaches overhead. Left hand down, left knee to left elbow. Three-legged plank. Exhale, lower down through three-legged chaturanga. Inhale, forward and up, up dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Breath in, raise your left leg long back behind you. Step your left foot between your hands, half moon rising, Ardha Chandrasana. Right leg lifts, right arm rises. Another breath. Exhale, bend into your left knee, warrior two. Bend into your right knee, Skandasana, side lunge. Spin around to face the top of your mat. Wild thing, left foot behind you, left arm reaches overhead. Left hand to the floor, swing your left leg underneath, right arm reaches up. Exhale, right hand down, high to low. Inhale, up dog, open your chest. Exhale, settle your knees to the floor. Send your hips back towards child's pose. Let your head and neck relax. Feel the outer back ribs melt forward. Feel your hips settle a little bit closer to your heels. And take a few breaths here. Just pace down your breath. Grab some water if you need it. Eventually return to a downward facing dog. Pushing the floor away, getting some more length in the spine, more length in the backs of the legs. Together, take a breath in, lift the heels high, hips are high. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. Again, inhale, heels high, hips high. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. One more time, inhale, heels high, hips high. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. Begin to walk your hands towards your feet. Draw your toes out to the sides, bending into your knees into Malasana squat, yogi squat. Bring the elbows inside of your knees, push the chest forward into Malasana, lengthening the tailbone down, pulling the belly in. Open up into the chest a bit more, pull your elbows to your knees. Another inhale and an exhale. Okay, bring your hands in front of you. Lift your heels high and jump a few times. Just frog kick, frog jumps all the way to the top of the mat. Jump back, pushing down to pull up and back. One more time. Jump frog up to the top. Crow pose, crane bakasana. Squeeze the outsides of your arms into your inner knees to outer arms. Bring your toes together, and perhaps you get lift off. Hugging the belly in. Breathing here for another 3 breaths. To come out of this pose, you can either lower your feet, step back to high plank. You can shoot your legs back through chaturanga, bent arms. Or just step your feet down and push your way down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog, Adho Mukha. Take 3 breaths. Breath in, breath out. Inhaling and exhaling. One more cycle of breath. Press down, pull up and back. On your next inhalation, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float lightly to the top of your mat. Take a breath in to lengthen. We haven't been here for a while. Exhale, bow down, forward fold. Breath in, rise all the way up. Bring your arms by your ears, reach high, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the center of your chest, Namaste equal standing. Coming through Surya Namaskar B, bend your knees, reach the arms forward and up, Utkatasana. Exhale, straighten the legs, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen chest forward. You can always do a crow pose before your vinyasa. Hands to the floor, either crow or shoot your way back to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, Adho Mukha. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Step your left foot to the top of the mat. Place your right foot to the floor. Arms reach overhead, Virabhadrasana 1. As you exhale, hands to the floor. Step from high plank to low plank. Inhale, forward and up dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Step your right foot to the top of the mat. Place your left heel to the floor. Arms rise as you breathe in. Exhale takes you from high plank to low plank. Inhale, forward and up dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and let it go. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or float lightly to the top of your mat. Take a breath in to lengthen chest forward. Breath out, forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Straighten your legs, fold right back down. One more Surya Namaskara B. Inhale to lengthen chest forward. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step or float your way through chaturanga. Inhale, forward and up dog. Exhale, hips are high, down dog. Step your left foot to the top of the mat, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step from high plank to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot to the top of the mat. Place your left heel to the floor. Arms brightly overhead. Deep bend in the right knee. Lower the hands to the floor. Step from high plank to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, hips are high, down dog. Take 5 rounds of breath. Make sure the belly is still engaged. Continue to drop the head down and feel a sense of relaxation in your neck, particularly the tops of your shoulders. Another 2 cycles of breath here. On your next inhalation, raise your right leg behind you, 3-limb dog. Bend your right knee, yawn your hip open. Step your right foot outside of your right hand for lizard lunge. You can lower your left knee if you'd like. Wiggle your hips a little bit around. Draw the chest forward. Straighten your left leg as you lift your knee off the floor. Draw your right arm underneath your right thigh. Just tense your fingertips underneath, outside your mat. Left hand tense outside. Continue to squeeze everything together. Lengthen your left leg. Breathing here for several breaths. If you are capable of coming into a bind, run your right hand behind you and your left hand can grab it. Keep opening up the chest, lengthen your left leg even more. Eventually place your right hand in the middle of your mat. Roll down your left heel, heel toe your right foot so it's by your right hand. Bring your left foot in just a little bit. Bring your left arm overhead, left hand behind you. Grab your right hip, slowly starting to straighten into your right leg and look over your left shoulder. Squeeze your right inner thigh, back into midline, lengthen your left leg. Draw your left arm overhead. Utthita Trikonasana. Take another breath. Come all the way into a wide-legged forward fold. Hands can come to your hips. Pull your way forward. any forward fold of your choice. You can come upside down into Sirsasana, headstand, tripod headstand. You can grab your big toes with 2 fingers and a thumb, lengthening when you breathe in and pulling your way down, elbows out to the sides. Just make sure you aren't grabbing too much weight inside of your arches. You want to have weight on the outer edges of your feet. Continue to lift up your kneecaps, engage your quads, and feel that reciprocal stretch in the backs of your legs. And if you're inverting, take the next 2 breaths to lower your feet back to the floor. In your wide-legged forward fold, hug the belly in. Lift hips higher. Draw your chest closer towards your inner thighs. Eventually, releasing your hands from your big toes. Come onto your fingertips. Lengthen the chest. Bend into your right knee, spin around to face the top of your mat. Lower your left knee, left hand underneath your left shoulder. Bend into your right knee, reach for your foot for quad stretch and a twist. Sink the hips nice and low. Press into your left hand, pull the left chest towards the front of the room, and draw your right chest towards your left chest towards your right inner thigh. Continue to push the foot away. Continue to sink deeply into the hips, but find more support in your left hand. Another breath. Slowly unwind. Right hand comes down, left knee lifts off the mat. Swing your right leg back behind you. Step your right foot between your hands. Right hand down, left arm reaches overhead. Draw your left arm behind you, half bind, or thread your right arm underneath for a full bind. Continue to open the chest. Make sure your right inner knee is going towards your pinky toes so it's not buckling. Open up. Gradually, stepping more weight onto your right foot, step your left foot in front of you, facing the top of your mat into Bird of Paradise. If you lose your bind, you can always just bring your right hand underneath your right thigh, or continue into your full bind, eventually drawing your weight onto your left foot. Right knee comes up. Staying here or straightening into your right leg. Make sure you're pulling your right shoulder back, lifting up out of the left hip. Staying here for another 2 breaths. And eventually find your way into forward fold at the top of your mats. Just separate your feet a little bit and sway and dangle. Use the weight of your head to find more length in the back of the neck, more softness in the fronts of the shoulders. And bring your feet closer towards one another. Take an inhale to lengthen chest forward. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the floor, step or float through to your Chaturanga Dandasana, or just step to down dog. Inhale, up dog, Adho Mukha. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha. Take a breath in and let it go. Next, inhale, raise your left leg long back behind you. Bend your left knee, open up your hip. Step your left foot outside your left hand for your lizard. Your own preference to lower your right knee initially. Just hug the inside of your knee to your arm, pulling your way forward, swaying around perhaps, just a little bit of a hammocky effect. You need to pull the chest forward. Eventually tucking your back toes, lifting your right knee off the floor. Draw your left arm underneath your left thigh. Left hand tense outside, right hand tense outside. Continue to pull the chest forward. If you did so on the first side, perhaps find a full bind behind you if you have your balance. Make sure you're pulling your left hip back, right leg long, staying here for another breath. Unwind your bind if you have it. Place your left hand in the middle of your mat. Roll your right heel down, heel to your left foot so it's right by your left hand. Perhaps shorten your stance a bit. Right arm reaches overhead, half bind. Begin to straighten into your left leg for half bound triangle Trikonasana. Continue to pull the left hip back, lengthen the left chest forward. Look over your right shoulder, squeeze your inner thighs together. Staying here for another 2. Right arm can reach long overhead for Utthita Trikonasana. And 1. Inhale all the way back up. Wide-legged forward fold of your choice. Pull the front hip points forward. Draw more weight towards the balls of your feet and let your head and neck relax. You'll be here for about 5 breaths. Settle comfortably into whatever version of the shape you choose. Continue to pull the belly in. Encourage your outer ribs towards your inner thighs. Gradually bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Take an inhale to lengthen, draw your chest forward. Exhale, bend into your left knee, spin around to face the top of your mat, lower your right knee to the floor. Right hand firm on the floor, left arm behind you, reaching for your foot. Continue to sink the hips low. Continue to slide the chest forward, spin the chest towards your left inner thigh, look over your left shoulder. Don't collapse into your right shoulder though. Can you push the foot away? Perhaps you get to sink the hips just a little bit more deeply. Another breath. Slowly releasing your foot. Left hand down, tuck your back toes, lift your right knee off the floor, swing your left leg long back behind you. Bend your left knee, yawn it open. Step your left foot to the top of your mat between your hands. Place your right heel to the floor at an angle, left hand in front of your left foot, and bring your right arm overhead. Staying here, or perhaps half bind. Continue to pull your left hip back, look over your right shoulder. Perhaps a full bind, drawing your left arm underneath your left thigh. Continue to open up. Eventually drawing your weight onto your left foot, coming into your bird of paradise. Onto your right foot rather, coming into your bird of paradise. And then find your balance and find your pose. Remember, there's always the option to just have your hand underneath your thigh. Wherever you are, you want to open up the chest. You want to continue to pull length into your right standing leg. And eventually releasing your foot and stepping to the top of your mat for a forward fold and let everything hang. You need to hug the belly in, chest closer towards your thighs. On your next inhale, lengthen Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow it down, forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up, bring your arms by your ears, reaching high, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the center of your chest, Namaste Tahi, equal standing. Coming through Surya Namaskara A, Vinyasa. Inhale, bring your arms by your ears, reach high. Exhale, hinge for a forward fold, Uttanasana. Breath into lengthen chest forward. Exhale, hands to the floor, either through crane crow pose or just come through your vinyasa, high plank to low. Breathing in and out through your transitions, through your movement. Finding your way, we'll all meet in a downward facing dog. Together, take a breath in, lift your heels high, hips high. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. Again, inhale, heels high, hips high. Open mouth, breath out, push the floor away, send the hip bones high. One more time, inhale, heels high, hips high. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. Lightly sealing your lips together for another 3. Inhale and exhale for 2. And 1. On your next inhalation, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or float your way through to the top of your mat. Come all the way down for bridge pose. Place your feet right underneath your knees. Bring your arms long beside you, palms face down. Just make sure your feet are truly parallel. Press into your feet, start to lift the hips up. You can either stay in here, pressing firmly into the upper arms to get that lift of the chest towards your chin. You can also grab your hands underneath you, pressing the pinky knuckles into the floor. Again, you're still pressing into the upper arms so you can get that lift, that opening of the chest. Draw your knees closer towards the front of the room. Feel your hamstrings engaged to help you lift up. Try to loosen your glutes. You might be clenching your butts. You don't want to do that. Staying here for another 4. Keep breathing for 3. Inhale and exhaling for 2, perhaps scooching one shoulder and then the other. Press down, lift up for 1. Exhale, slowly lower down. Release your hands if you have them clasped. Lower one vertebra down at a time until your tailbone touches. Take an inhale and an exhale. Another bridge pose, or perhaps Adho Dhanurasana, an upward facing bow position. If you're doing your upward facing bow, hands plant by your ears, fingertips face behind you. Press down, start to straighten the legs and lift everything up. Keep pressing down to lift up. Let your head drop back. Those of you in bridge pose, continue to press into the forearms to lift up. Everybody breathe here for another 4. Breath in and out for 3. 2. Maybe get up a bit higher as you breathe in. Exhale. Tucking your chins if you're in your half bow pose, slowly roll down. Just like at the beginning of class, bring the soles of your feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana. Let your knees spread wide. This time, everybody place a hand on your belly and a hand on your chest. Notice the beating of your heart. Notice the deep breath. Starting to slow down your breath. And then reverse it so the other hand is on your belly, the other hand on your chest. Notice how things can start to slow down. They begin to soften a little bit. Feel the weight of your knees. Help to open up your inner hips one more time. And place your hands at the backs of your thighs. Bring your knees together. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourselves a squeeze. And then roll around a little bit. Until you come all the way up into a seated position. Facing the top of your mat, bend into your right knee rather. Lengthen your left leg in front of you. Find a little bit of a twist. Crawl your way forward into Jaya Shasasana A. You can tense your fingertips outside your leg. Lengthen when you breathe in. Use that connection to help you pull the chest forward even more. Make sure your left leg stays long. A bit of a twist. And slide your chest closer towards your knee. Let your head and neck bow down. Each breath in is a little bit more of a subtle lengthening in the front of the spine. Each breath out is a sense of release. Another 2 rounds of breath here. Breath in to lengthen. Breath out. Surrender. One more breath in and a breath out. Start to walk your hands back. Place your right foot outside of your left leg. You can either stay here for your twist or bending into your left knee. Wrap it around for half Lord of the Fishes. Right hand down. Left arm reaches overhead. Take a breath in, lift and lengthen. Exhale, find your twist over towards your right. Left elbow can connect to the outside of your right knee. Use this to help you gain more length when you breathe in. Spin the ribs around the spine and look over your right shoulder. Breath in to lengthen. And a breath out, find your twist. Slowly unwind yourselves. Straighten your legs, you shake it all out. Bend into your right knee. Place the sole of the foot inside of your left thigh. Left leg stays engaged. Actually, left leg bends, right leg straight. Tense your fingertips outside your right leg this time. And start to walk your way forward. Lengthen when you breathe in. Relax when you breathe out, bowing yourself down. 3 more cycles of breath here. Lengthen when you breathe in. Left ribs towards your right inner thigh and bow it down. Inhaling and exhaling for your surrender. One more inhale and let it go. Beginning to walk your way back to center. Left knee bends outside of your right thigh. Either keep your right leg long or bending into your right knee for Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes. Left hand behind you, right arm reaches overhead. Take a breath in, feel a little bit more of a lift up, a little bit lengthening in the lower back. Twist, lead to the center of your chest, right elbow to left knee. Every time you breathe in, lengthen. Broad into your collarbones, breathe out, find more twist. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, find your twist. One more inhale. Exhale, rotate. Slowly finding your way back to center. Roll all the way onto your backs. Bring your knees back into your chest. Give yourselves a nice little squeeze. Passing your left thigh on top of your right. Squeeze the thighs together. There's no space between your thighs. Grab your right foot with your left hand and your left foot with your right hand for Gomukhasana Supine. And play a little bit. Where do you feel the sensation in the outer hips? We've done a lot of open hips. Now we're just closing everything off, bringing everything back to center midline, pulling the inner thighs together. You can experiment with flexing your foot, Drawing your heels closer towards your armpits, maybe up more towards the ceiling. Roll your way from left to right. Breathing here for another 2 breaths. Continue to engage into the core. Continue to pull your heels towards your body. Slowly release your feet. And then just reverse your wind. Grabbing right foot with left hand, left foot with right hand. Squeeze the inner thighs together. You can bend your elbows. Feel where you breathe, where you feel the sensation the most. Another couple rounds of breath here. Eventually releasing your feet and wind your legs. Bring your feet to the floor. Press into your feet. Swing your hips a little bit over towards the left. Drop your knees over to the left and turn your head to the right and close your eyes, please. Soften your right shoulder to the floor. If you'd like to enhance the twist in your lower back, bring your knees closer towards your left arm. Take your time coming back to center. Press weight into your feet so you can bring your hips over to the left a bit. Roll over onto your right side, and draw your left arm out to the side. Continue to settle your left shoulder to the floor. Find a little bit more sensation of stretching your left outer hip if you bring your knees closer towards your right arm. Take your time coming back to center. You can straighten your legs long to the mat. Let your feet and knees roll open. Arms can be wide stretched or they can be closer towards your body. Just make sure they aren't touching anything. Together, let's take a long, slow, smooth breath in. Open our mouths, exhale, let it go. Settling into Shavasana. Feel this gentle washing over the front of your body. This is a big, warm, fuzzy coat. It's helping you feel grounded and stable. Just let everything go for a few moments. As always, I encourage you to stay as long as you'd like in your Shavasana in your own personal space. Otherwise, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Start to roll your ankles and your wrists around. Bring your arms long overhead. Take a long, full breath in. Reach and lengthen. Open your mouth. Exhale. Let it go. Gradually bring your knees into your chest. Roll over onto your right side and stay here for a few moments. Let the softness and stillness of your Shavasana settle in mixture in with your physical practice. With your eyes remain closed, gently bring your way into a seated position facing the front of the room. So I'll bring our hands to get pressed together at the center of our chest. Sit up a little bit taller, draw the back of the heart right into the heels of the hands and relax your shoulders. Together we'll take a deep, full breath in. Open your mouth, exhale, let it go. Honoring the light in you that is the light in me, I thank you so much for sharing it with me. Namaste. I'm Teri. Have a great day.